Welcome to the LumiCast, your premier gateway to the universe of limitless photo editing. Dive into the galaxy of Luminar software and the dynamic world of AI photo editing. Join us weekly for a burst of creativity and the drive to transform your photos with confidence and skill. Broadcasting directly from Clever Photographer headquarters, it's time to welcome your hosts, Jakub and Holly Linton.
Hi, everyone. Guess what? We're back for another episode of LumiCast. You know, that podcast that you love so much where we talk about photography, photo editing, Luminar Neo, and some other software now and then. I'm Holly Linton, your host from Tennessee, and next to me from the UK is Jakub. How you doing today, Jakub?
I'm great, Holly. Hello, everyone. I am over the moon to talk about my new upcoming project.
Well, it just so happens that this project must have been top secret because I'm only just learning about it in the last 24 hours. Today, we're going to be talking about a great virtual London photography workshop that Jakub has been working on behind the scenes. So we're going to learn what this is all about. So this is going to be new for me as well. So I have a bunch of questions for him. So let's see what we can learn here. I bet you by the end of it, we're going to have a lot of interest in attending this workshop. So let's just get right to the beginning. Tell me, what is this workshop all about?
All right, let's do it. Yes, I mean, it's my new baby, as they say, and it's definitely something I've been trying to keep quiet for a while because I know there's lots of people out there who runs a similar business who may be interested in a similar project. So I just wanted to keep it under the lid until I know the exact shape, and now it's pretty much ready. So I'm really excited to know everyone what it's about. Well, you probably know that with my friends Hannes and René, we run the Three Nomads Adventures, where we offer actual photography workshops around Europe. So we go south of France and London and Venice, and we also go to Mongolia and so on. So I spent last year doing that and obviously trying to advertise it. And I spoke to many photographers and artists and creators. And obviously, one of the reasons why people cannot join is either the financial part, that it's quite expensive, or it's the fact that they can't travel, simply because either they just can't travel, maybe because of their health, or maybe it's just too much time to take away from the family or from their work. You know, if you're going for 7-day workshop, you're most likely going to travel 8-9 days. And if you only have like a 4 weeks holiday a year, that's a lot to ask. So there was a lot of that. And every time I was running into these conversations, I was thinking, how could I bring this experience to the people and for them to be able to do it from home? Obviously, the ultimate idea is that you go there and experience it on a spot. So I was thinking, how could I bring the next possible level of that experience? And so I spent several months thinking about it, building the idea, and basically come out with this 7-day guided photography experience, which you can experience from home. Of course, based on my experience of the actual workshop, I have tried to put there everything that you would experience there and hope that people are going to enjoy it. Now, the first spot is London, simply because I live here, so it's really easy for me to access it. And also because I photograph it a lot, so I'm very confident and comfortable to go there and share it with everyone. So, yeah. That's about the overall idea.
Great. So you basically can get to London, but right from your home computer. Mm-hmm. This sounds interesting. So as far as the concept of this goes, you said it's a week long. So what would it look like?
So there is actual 7 modules, obviously following the 7 days, as it is 7-day workshop. And each module has several videos as well as little sub-modules for uploading your own photos and so on. And then it follows exactly the experience you would have coming to a workshop. So the very first video of the workshop is me standing in front of the Westminster Bridge, and I welcome the person to the workshop. I ask them how they're doing, and there are little shots of them coming by plane and, taking the tube and arriving, seeing me. So at that point in that video, I explained what we're going to be doing, and then we take a little stroll to old ancient pub in the center of London where we talk about photography gear. So then it turns to the next video where we go through what we're going to be using on that workshop. Again, just like in a real workshop, that's what you would do. You would look at the different lenses and different gadgets and do that. And I would also look at their So the idea would be, again, that they would share with me the gear and I would then come back and tell them, okay, maybe if you're planning to invest a little bit, you can buy something like this and something like that. Once done with the interaction, then there is 7 sets of videos where we go to the actual locations and photograph. So imagine that I am standing in front of the Tower Bridge in the morning. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm there and I'm actually telling you what gear we're going to be using, what lens, what camera, how to set it up. Then I tell you what camera settings you should enter and why. So it's low light and we're going to try to use low ISO to make sure that we don't add any noise and so on. So I explain you all of that. And once we're ready, I also try to give you some tips on framing, how I would frame it and how I think it would work. Then we take lots of pictures and then that's the end of that experience. After that, so we do that for your mornings and we do that for your evenings. After that, we go and do the editing, just like on the workshop. Usually on the workshop, you do your shooting in the morning and shooting in the evening. And in the afternoon, you meet in a classroom where you do the editing. So as a part of this workshop, we do the same. There is basically about half an hour, 45 minutes video for each of the location where I basically just go through the process of editing the photos. So I start by going through the images of that location, selecting the ones I think are worth it. I go through the process, how I think about which are worth it and which are not, how I use the different rating to be able to go through them. Then I go through the basic development, then I go through the different styles, and I talk about different looks. So one day we photograph interior in old beautiful hotels. So I talk about that editing, then I talk about sunrise editing, sunset editing, blue hour editing, and so on. So full experience, lots to do. And there is a whole interactive part where people, when we finish with the editing, they choose any of the raw files I share with them, and then they can edit them, upload them, and I give them feedback as well. Again, just like they would do on the actual workshop if they would be with us. So everything is built around the idea that you are there, you are experiencing it with me, and at the same time you're learning.
That sounds really interesting. I'm already picturing Big Ben. I mean, I've never been to London, so I think for people who haven't ever been there, it could be pretty exciting to see all the beautiful architecture. So it's not really a photography course in this case. It's really a guided experience.
Yes.
Would you say?
Exactly. And
I'm already picking up on one bonus item here is that I don't have to set my alarm at a.m. to wake up to get to see this, to get there at the proper time. So I think that's a plus here.
Yeah, definitely. And also you don't have to rely on the luck of the weather, right? Because if you go there for a week and it may be raining all week long, where obviously we have picked the days which were the most suitable for these locations. So we have absolutely stunning sunset behind the Westminster, which I never seen in my life. So that video is epic on its own. We also had a beautiful sunrise in front of the Tower Bridge. And one night we went for a blue hour stroll along the River Thames and also got some beautiful photos. So that's another great advantage, you're right, is the fact that you don't have to wake up and also you get the perfect weather.
So regarding the content, now you've just mentioned a few of the landmarks because I don't claim to really know any. I knew the term Big Ben and that's about it. Okay. But so what are some of the, each of the 7 days, can you tell us which landmarks we'll be seeing?
Absolutely. I mean, there are some big locations you have to cover, I think, regardless what workshop you're going to be doing. That's definitely your Big Ben or Elizabeth Tower, which is the actual name of the tower.
Oh.
That's all part of the Westminster or Palace of Westminster with the Westminster Bridge. So we do their sunrise, we do there a special secret view, and we also do blue hour there. Then we definitely go to the Tower Bridge and the Tower of London. That's the area on the other side of London. It's also incredible. We do sunrise there, which is epic. We really had a beautiful weather and we do a little walk there. So that is great as well. Those are too big. We go to St. Paul Cathedral, which is also incredible. I mean, you can see the St. Paul from anywhere in London. And once you get close to it, it's just magnificent. I have a soft spot for cathedrals anyway. And this one is just epic. So what we do, we come to St. Paul and then we go around and look for different viewpoints. So we find about 7 locations, and each of the location I explain how I would photograph it, how I use different framing and different composition. And we do everything from your frame to frame to details. And we go on the top of the roof of the shopping mall to try to photograph it. So yeah, it's great. St. Paul is another one. Then we photograph this absolutely gorgeous hotel, which is at St. Pancras railway station. We actually got offered to be able to photograph it. We got an agreement from the hotel, and it has one of the most beautiful staircases you ever seen in your life. And I really felt like photographing all these locations is great, but we need to do one indoor. And it's really difficult to get somebody from like the big museum to agree, but this hotel is stunning. So that's also there. Much more, but those are just some of the highlights.
Sounds great. It'll be like a little bit of a geography lesson as well.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And there's one thing I want to add to it, actually. So we do lots of photography. That's what it's about. But usually when we at the location in the afternoon, we have a little bit of free time and people can go and do other things. So I wanted to also bring that to the workshop. So for example, one day I actually take the people to Borough Market, which is about 1,000 years old borough, like a market in the center of London, and actually take them there and I show them different stalls and I try some mushrooms there and we buy sandwich and donuts and I talk about the culture of the markets in London. That is lovely. Then I have another great experience. I actually take the people on the boat ride following the river in London and I talk about the different buildings and different structures and the history. And I think this is also great. So it's not just photography, it's also a little bit of a documentary.
Now, when you said mushrooms, do you just mean like regular mushrooms like you'd put in a salad?
No, those were actually truffles. I should have said truffles. Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah. I should have said truffles.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you already mentioned you're going to give everybody all the raw files. So you'll get to choose the ones that you wanted to edit. And then, so would you say this is a beginner friendly type of virtual workshop for people? Like what is it for everybody of all levels of photography?
Definitely. I think it's a great warm up if you're just starting because you will see me doing everything from picking up the gear or choosing the gear, setting it up, capturing it, and then editing it, everything from choosing the photos to then developing them and then finishing them off to be able to share them. So I think for that, it's great. But it's not just for beginners. It's also for intermediate or professionals, maybe people who never been in London and just want to see, is it for me? How should I photograph it? Or maybe they just need to brush up on some new ideas on how to edit, or maybe who just want to kind of fine-tune their workflow of editing. I really think that it's beneficial for everyone. But even if you just got your camera for Christmas, this workshop would be good for you because I really go into the details. There's lots of infographic on a screen when I explain things as well. So it's not just that I talk about it, I also show it. And then under each of the video, there is a text explaining exactly what gear I use, what was the settings, where we were standing, what time. So people really have all the information they need if they want it.
All right. And then you mentioned we're going to be uploading our pictures. You're going to be kind of giving us some feedback or critique on them. How does that work? What's the turnaround time people could expect for that?
Great question. Well, that kind of brings us very lightly back to the raw files. I know you mentioned them and I didn't really got back to it. So each of these classes or each of these photo shoots will offer around 20, 30, 40, somewhere 50 raw files. So you get a lot of raw files for this workshop. And first thing I want to say that people are more than welcome to keep them, use them, share them, edit them however they want. They belong to the person who bought the course. So I don't have any copyright on them. I'm happy for people to use them how they feel. And that then transfers nicely into the fact that not only they will be watching me, I want them to also then try and edit the photos, either following the idea I gave them in the editing video, or just go and edit it however they want. So they can choose any of the files they're going to get, edit it, upload it, and then, yes, within about 24 hours, they will get a feedback from me, maybe giving them some tips on what they could do differently, or just tell them that they did an amazing job, or tell them that maybe they need to redo it all over again. So, yeah, it will be a very supportive way to coach people through the course as well. And it's definitely part I'm really looking forward to.
Well, when I submit mine, I hope that you tell me mine are all perfect. Because, I've done all of your courses and I've learned from you. So I wouldn't expect if I get some negative feedback, that'll be pretty bad.
I'm sure it's not going to happen.
I know.
Anyway, it's very supportive anyway.
So it sounds like a great experience. So you're saying that it's really perfect for people of all levels of photography, all levels of editing. It's going to be great experience for beginner editors too, I would imagine, because of the feedback that you're going to be able to provide. So advanced photographers are still going to get something out of this for sure. I'm excited just listening and conjuring up in my mind what this is even going to look like. Is your little LumaBot going to make any appearances in this workshop?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's that kind of workshop, but maybe, who knows? We'll see.
I'm just picturing like you're showing us these markets and you said a boat ride and things like that inside of cathedrals. I can't wait to see it.
Great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to.
So let's talk about behind the scenes type of stuff here. Mm-hmm. You said you've been working on this for months. So how long has all this filming, been taking you, and how are you fitting this into all of your other clever photographer things that you're always working on?
Yeah, great question. So how long did it take? Well, the idea came up probably about May or June this year. I did some workshops earlier the year. I've been in Paris and I went to south of France again, and it's been kind of brewing in me. And I thought, well, how could I kind of handle this? How could I take it? And probably the part of preparing and building it to the structure it is now took the longest. Then I decided that I want to shoot this in autumn, which I think is absolutely gorgeous time for London anyway. For many cities in Europe, I'm not sure in States, but in Europe, definitely you get the best light, and the trees are beautiful. One location we go to in a workshop is Notting Hill, which is beautiful anyway, but in autumn where you see these pastel colored houses with beautiful autumn trees, it's another whole level of beautiness, I mean. Mm-hmm. So basically we decided to record it in autumn. And so I think we went for about 2.5 weeks to record it, because sometimes we were waiting for the right light or for the right location. So for about 2.5 weeks, we shoot this mornings, evenings, during the day. And so while I was recording this, I was also working on the rest of the Clever Photographer stuff, but I was doing all of that from London. And yeah, it was interesting. It was kind of full on, because obviously along the way was also your Halloween, so we were building the Halloween offer, and then Christmas is coming and Black Friday offer. So it was a lot to put together, but ultimately it was about 2.5-3 weeks of shooting, and I think it came up nicely together.
And you said you already saw like an amazing sunset that never usually takes place, or is it a sunrise? And then was there anything else that you're like, oh my gosh, I have to put this into the workshop?
Well, yes. So Westminster is tricky for some reason for me to photograph for a sunset, because I've been there many, many times and it's always looking promising. And for some reason in London, we have this kind of haze on the horizon. So the sun is coming and everything is looking beautiful, and then the sun disappears behind the haze and just nothing ever happened. So this was the one location where I was really worried about, because I knew it has to be in that workshop, but I thought, oh my God, is it going to happen? So the first day, actually, when we were going there, I somehow misread the information and we have arrived 1 hour too late. So it was already dark. So as I was in the tube, you don't see the light outside, right? So you're on an underground. So you're going for like 40 minutes and you're thinking, oh, now we're going to arrive. It's going to be epic. And as we were coming up, you start to see the light, and then you walk out of the tube and you see it's pitch dark. So yeah, so that was disappointing. So I thought, wow, okay. So we missed the opportunity. But actually 2 days later, it started to look good. So we had there, and it was one of the most epic sunsets I've seen in London. It was great. Honestly, great light all the way through the Blue Hour. So we still do some shooting at the Blue Hour with a really nice light behind the Big Ben. It's just amazing. So that was one, definitely. And second thing is, for 2 weeks, fought with the rain, right? I thought, oh no, I don't want any rain in it, because, people are here for beautiful weather. And eventually it struck me. I'm thinking, well, like a London workshop, what's the chance it's going to rain? So why not go and do one shooting class about shooting in rain in the city, right? With the reflections and lights, and combine it all together. And so this was one of the shooting, episodes or videos, which was not planned, but honestly, I think it's really cool. I think it kind of took me by surprise, but it belongs there. So I'm happy with it now.
Mm-hmm. Well, from being from the States and having never been to London, when I was growing up, you'd always hear, it's just never sunny in London. Mm-hmm. It's always foggy and rainy and depressing or something. Or you'd hear London fog. So do we have any fog and atmosphere in any of the workshop?
You get that kind of feel. I guess for the Blue Hour, it works. Yeah, you get the kind of Blue Hour misty class. But honestly, I very rarely see fog in London. It's very rare. It used to be from all the factories back in the day. So I guess they got the use of the factories, so now no more fog. But the rain, you are 100% right. It rains a lot. You can get beautiful sunrise and sunset, different locations, but they are rare. So it rains a lot.
London Fog is really just a brand of clothing, and it's also a beverage at Starbucks now. There's a tea, they call it the London Fog.
Oh, there you go.
Well, it sounds like it's good that you missed that. You were an hour behind schedule because everything happens for a reason. So you saw that great sunset 2 days later. So that sounds perfect. So would you say there's anything disastrous that took place during this recording, as far as there's no Looney Tunes down on the subway system or any people photo bombing your videos?
There was a lot of that. I mean, sometimes, you're recording 7 minutes talking video, and then as you're finishing the last few sentences, there is just a guy walked straight bluntly in front of the camera. Yeah, that happens. But I mean, it's a busy city, so you kind of need to work around that. So that was all right. Probably the biggest disaster in a way that happened is I actually planned a few interior locations, and I sent everyone like an early request to get because you need to get the approval for business purpose to be able to add it to your product, because it's obviously interior location. So I sent everyone an emails, and I was really kind of keen to have these locations there, like an interior of St. Paul or maybe interior of the Historic Museum. And it was like a week before, and I never got answer from anybody. And I was starting to be like, well, it's not going to happen, So I tried to call, and eventually I got a hold of someone, and they went like with crazy offer, like £10,000 for 15 minutes shoot, and I thought, well, it's not happening. So probably the biggest disaster was that I had to make 2 changes on the locations last minute, which wasn't ideal, but eventually it happened also. It's all good. Yeah, so that was probably the worst.
So those 2 locations, if anyone ever does eventually get to London, they could just go see those on their own. So
that's it.
Yeah.
And if they come with us for the for the live workshop in London, then we take them there, because then they go on their own with their own camera, but you cannot record the video for commercial purpose without the permission of the place. And I just never got an answer from these places. So yeah, it's okay. There are some other beautiful places, so it's worth it anyway.
All right. Well, you just mentioned something new then. You're actually also going to be doing this workshop live.
Yes. So the idea is that this virtual workshop people can take any time of the year, and they can do it in 7 days, or they can do it over several months. It's really up to them. It's not that they have to spend 7 days and upload every night a video. They can take as much time as they want. But building on that, if they would like, they can also join us for a 7-day live workshop in London. It's already scheduled for what I believe is the last week of September, beginning of October. So it's I think it's from about 26th of September. And we're going to be going to London and actually covering all these locations there. So there may be people who going to buy the virtual workshop. They will do that, and they will be like, you know what, actually, I would love to do that on my own. I would love to do that in person. And then they can join us. And to make it even more interesting, if you will want to join us, once you buy the virtual workshop, so we're going to talk about the price in a moment, but basically the cost of the virtual workshop will be deducted from the live workshop afterwards. So let's say that the workshop costs a few $100s, then you will get that few $100 discount from the live workshop, which I think is really cool.
This sounds like such a great opportunity for people who have never gone on an epic workshop to really get a feel for it. And it's either going to inspire them to save up to go on the real in-person workshops, or they're going to realize, you know what, this virtual workshop is good enough for me. Like you said, some people can't travel for whatever reason or don't want to travel. So I think you're on to something here. So as far as getting the workshop, how obviously you're going to probably send out your email blast when it's all completed. So what's the sign up process? Are you just going to do it for a limited amount of people? Tell us how can we learn about this and sign up for it?
Cool. So how to join the virtual workshop? Well, it will be quite straightforward. We will have a page available at Clever Photographer where you will be able to buy the workshop and then start pretty much immediately. Now, the opening price for the workshop is $350. However, because we love our LumiCast, if you use the code LumiCast at the checkout, you will get $100 discount.
All right. And with all the work that it sounds like you're putting into it, all your travel, all your time, setting up, getting access to these locations and putting it all together, when you boil it down, and for the experience that it sounds like we're going to get, I think it sounds like a good investment for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And you're not only getting like a bunch of videos, which are great anyway, but you're also getting that coaching experience where, as I say, you can upload up to 12 different raw files. I will give you feedback on them. You can ask any questions throughout the workshop. So let's say I'm at the location and maybe you didn't understand something, or maybe you do things differently. There is a comment section under each of the videos where you can just comment and you will get a response from me. I really like the idea that it's not just video kind of masterclass, but it's also the support from me. And hopefully those two together will help you to get to another level as a photographer.
Yeah. So you're getting that one-on-one attention that you wouldn't otherwise get.
Yep.
I think that's a real bonus. So in terms of like overall feelings about this, you must be pretty excited. It's a really great concept. And what are your hopes for the people who do sign up for it? And as well, what would you say to people who are like, because sometimes prices of things stop people from stuff like you were just mentioning. What would you do to convince them? How do you sell them on it?
Yes. Well, I mean, there was a lot of passion going into this, of course, because as I mentioned, I love London. I photographed it for years now. I live here. I know all the locations from the back of my hand. I also work for a website called PhotoHound, where I have lots of, I don't know, maybe tens of photography spots in London built there. So I really know London very well. So I try to share all of that there together with the knowledge of the shooting, so really guiding you through the process of choosing the gear, setting your camera, doing the framing and composition and getting the best possible shot. So I really feel that this all together really bring a great value. On the top of it, then there is that coaching part, which I think is, I don't say it's rare, but I think it just makes it a little bit more special that you don't just watch a video, but you can also communicate with me and get the help. And I think both together just makes it a really great project, which I understand is maybe not for everyone, but if you are someone who's thinking about workshop, ever done one, and you just worried to maybe invest several $1,000s to start with, I think this is a great way to start because it will really give you a feel of, okay, so this is how it is and it's for me, or maybe it's not for you, maybe, okay, this is too intense. Or if you're somebody who's been on a workshop and now, time is a little bit short or money are short, then this is the next best thing. Or, which we were talking about at the beginning, before we started, if you may be someone who's going to London next year on your own and you just want some tips on what to photograph, where, what gear to bring, then I think this is also a great product you can get to basically get a little personal photographic guide on London with a little bit of help from me. You don't necessarily have to ask just about photography. You can also ask me about different locations and restaurant, hotel recommendation. I'll do all of that.
Well, I'm a believer in continued education. So this is just another aspect of photography to add to your repertoire, if that's the right word. We're all doing editing or learning about our camera. So a workshop like this, which is pretty epic. It's not just your typical, go to your local camera store workshop for a few hours. This is like real, traveling, seeing different parts of the world. And like you said, going at the right times of day. This gives the opportunity for getting there at the golden hour and blue hour. And so it sounds amazing. That's really all I could say as I'm just learning about this today. So I feel like everybody should give this some consideration. I can't wait to get my hands on it so that I could do it and then keep promoting it. So I really look forward to it.
Would I call you founding father or would you be founding mother?
I can be a founding father. I'm not particular like that. Founding father sounds perfect.
Okay, great. No, honestly, I think it's a great project. I'm super excited over it because I just think it will give people a great opportunity to do this thing. And then, you know what? If you decide to come with us for real to London, I think it's just a great starter. So I really recommend this to everyone. I think it will be epic. And this is just the beginning of this idea. We're going to do more of these. We're planning to go to Prague in March to record the next one already. So that should be great. And then we're looking at places like Venice or maybe Iceland and Scotland. And yeah, if it all work out, this should be a great journey. And I hope that people will join us on it.
I'll be there. Be there or be square, right?
That's it. Okay, Holly. Thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you. And best of luck with this. It's really exciting.
Okay, see you everyone. See you next week on Friday.
Bye, everyone. See you in London.
See you in London.
And that's a wrap. Now, there's only 3 things left to do. Subscribe to this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Visit our website at cleverphotographer.com/LumiCast to see what we have in store next. And stay creative and keep editing your photos no matter what anyone says.